last night I did a podcast episode on a subject that I've really been sitting with for a long time that I think is just very fascinating. By the way, if you hear any background noise, I apologize. I'm in a busy area, and that's just what it is. I think that you should be able to hear me pretty well. But, yeah, so this has a lot to do with seeing people for exactly who they are, right? Not too long ago, I think it was within the past week, I made a video on idealization, when you idealize somebody, right? Which is a mark of emotional immaturity. It doesn't make a person good or bad or right or wrong. It's just not an accurate way of seeing a person, right? That's black or white thinking. That's, you're going to idealize somebody, so you're going to make them shinier than they are. You're going to put them on a pedestal when they're just a fucking person, right? And so, the fascinating thing is that a lot of people actually see people as good or bad. They see things as good or bad. They see the world as good or bad. People are neither good nor bad. They're just people, right? And you can try to shine and polish them up all you fucking want, but all that it's going to do is create a distorted perception in your mind of them, right? And then, the unfortunate thing about polishing somebody up through idealization is that you're only seeing them in one way that's actually inaccurate. And then when they do something that contradicts your perception of them, it's the end of the fucking world, and you hate them. You don't ever want to have anything to do with them again, right? And it's such a fascinating dynamic of how all of that works. It really is. Somebody's cleaning the windows out there. But, yeah, so allowing yourself to see people for who they are, and only who they are, nothing more, nothing. Listen, I'm going to try to paint this as clearly as I can. I'm going to use this paintbrush right here. Can't see it, it's invisible. And I'm going to use a very basic color, right? I'm just saying stuff. People are just people. They are no more than they can be, and they are no less than they can be. I cannot be any more than what I am. I cannot be any less than what I am. What am I? A person. I am a human person. And that's it, right? And so it's like, all right, I'm right here, right? This is not me, and this is not me. This is me, right? So people that idealize, they do, instead of doing this, they do this, and then when they see something that contradicts everything that they've believed, they go all the way down here, and it's the end of the fucking world, right? And so, I want to talk about something else that is really important in regards to just seeing people for who they are. Patterns of behavior, right? Patterns do not lie. They are formed very early on, and the only way they change is if you change them, right? And that's just the reality of it. That's really just the reality of it. And so, instead of building ideas for who people are, who they could be, just letting them fucking be who the fuck they are is what this is all about. You can build up an idea in your mind of who somebody is, of how they're supposed to be, how they should be, how you'd like them to be, but nothing's going to change the fact that they are just what they fucking are, which is human. Just like everyone else, they have their shit, right? Maybe they don't deal with it in healthy ways, right? They utilize defense mechanisms like projection, displacement, this, that, and the other, denial, reaction formation, whatever it is, right? But at the end of the fucking day, they're just a person, right? So whatever person that you take, right? Here we go. I'm going to use specimen A. Specimen A, that sounds weird. Whatever person that you take, right? There's a person here. Just kidding. There's not really a person here. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right? Brings me back to childhood. There's a person here, right? If I were to idealize this person, I would bring them up here. Oh, you are on the pedestal now, human. You are so cool. You are amazing. You can do no wrong. You are all good. Oh shit, I just saw you do something that I think is bad. You are bad, right? That's what people do when they idealize, when they're stuck inside of black or white thinking. And it's fascinating too, because like looking at my own life and everything, I've learned that the world is like a good place. But then I've also learned that it's a bad place. But then I got corrected on behalf of that, and I learned that the world is neither good nor bad. It is just the fucking world, right? I mean, like, let's just make it very clear, like, good or bad doesn't describe anything. It doesn't. A more accurate way of looking at things is, health, right? People do things that are healthy. People also do things that are unhealthy, right? It is unhealthy to take your own pain and insecurities and project it onto other people through verbal or physical abuse, right? That's unhealthy. It is healthy to take your pain and insecurities and set boundaries with people as to not fuck them with your shit, and instead do the work on yourself to do the necessary healing of yourself, right? That is healthy. Somebody's not bad for projecting their pain onto other people. They just do it because that's what they're familiar with, that's what they learned, and that's the defense mechanism that they utilized. This is my shit. Here, it's yours now. Projection, right? I don't have healthy boundaries, so I just fuck everyone else with my shit. That's just really how it works. So again, seeing everyone for who they really are, again, to make it clear, like, there is no such thing as perfection inside of an individual. It just doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not real. And if you think that you want to strive towards being perfect, I'm not going to tell you to stop. All I'm going to say is that it's not a real thing. It doesn't exist. It's not possible. We are human. We are imperfect creatures that make mistakes, and that's just the way that it is, right? But again, just seeing everyone for who they really are. Again, by the way, I'll make this very clear. We can strive to become better and be consistent with that. And by the way, a good example of that is, instead of being unhealthy about your shit and projecting it onto everyone else and fucking them with it, you can choose to instead set a boundary where you're like, all right, this is my shit. This is where Chris begins and ends, and this is where other people begin and end. I'm not going to bring my shit to other people unless maybe it's a licensed professional, right? Like a therapist or something like that, right? Because nobody else needs to be fucked by my shit, right? And that's an example of just becoming a better person, right? Let's use the word healthy, becoming a healthier person, right? But nobody's free of shit. We all have our shit. You have your shit, I have my shit. My shit sucks, my shit stinks, your shit sucks, your shit stinks. It's just the way that it is, right? And whatever work you do to idealize other people, it is a fucking inaccurate way of perceiving them, because it's just not fucking real. Because what you're gonna do is, after you've idealized this person and you've put them on the pedestal and you've really polished them up to make them look shinier than they fucking are, right? Because that's what your mind does, because you think in terms of black or white thinking, a cognitive distortion. The second they do something that contradicts all the good you've seen in them, you're going to devalue the hell out of them, rather than just seeing them for what and who they are, a human being with shit just like you, right? And it's wild, because, I mean, black or white thinking, idealizing and devaluing, that goes back to childhood, like infancy and everything. Making things out to be better than they are, right? Again, it's not a matter of good or bad or right or wrong, but it's not healthy to see people as more than human, because we are just human. It's not healthy to see people or to think that somebody doesn't have shit, because they do. We all do. That's just the way that it works. But to allow yourself to get sucked into this universe, a fucking black hole, where this person is all of a sudden, you know, a fucking king. They are godlike in your eyes. No. And I know that this is kind of like, I guess, romanticized. Like, you know, you see it in the media. It's everywhere. There is not a single person on the face of this fucking planet that is free of shit. We all have our shit. So idealizing anyone is just a waste of time and energy, because it's not an accurate way of seeing them. Seeing people for what they are, as human, with shit, just like everyone else, not up here, not down here, right fucking here. Yeah.